across the UK, on DAB+, on your smart speaker, on your smart TV, and on your side. This is Talk.
Welcome back. In the studio, it's Barrister Andrew Eborn. Have you ever lost a case by any chance?
No. Well, it's funny you should mention that.
He's never lost a case.
Funny you should mention that.
He's never lost it. He's never had a case. But no, seriously, he's never lost a case, so he's the man to talk to. I want to talk, Andrew, about the ongoing insanity of our illegal migrant crisis. As you know, they come here illegally on illegal, unlawful small boats, and then they claim asylum, usually saying, "Oh, escaping war and torture and all this kind of stuff." And not to put too fine a point on it, they get ridiculous lenient treatment from these immigration tribunal judges who seem, to me, I'm probably being unfair to some of them, but most of them seem to be lunatic left-wingers who are kind of at war with this country. You're a paedophile, you've just done 5 years in jail for sexually abusing British children, you can stay. You know, they've done this. Paedophiles are regularly allowed to stay. Oh, well, you've got a right to a family life. Your own children. You abuse other people's children, but you've got a right to stay here because you've got your own children. Oh, we can't send you, a paedophile, back to Somalia because in Somalia they don't like paedophiles and they treat them badly. Therefore, you could stay here. Well, I've got news for you, immigration tribunal judge idiots. We don't like paedophiles much here either. Chuck them out. The latest absurd example is this. A 32-year-old Iraqi, he wasn't actually granted asylum, but he was allowed to stay because a tribunal judge decided that he might be persecuted back in his home country. But when he asked for asylum, when he arrived here illegally, in the back of a lorry, 2016. Remember those days? 9 years ago. Back of a lorry, almost nostalgic when they used to come under lorries, in the back of lorries. Yes. Now it's, of course, boats. When they said, well, OK, you're applying for asylum, but what is the reason? Yes. He said, well, I haven't really got a reason, but if you gave me a couple of hours, I could come up with a reason. And the judge said, well, yeah, you can stay, no problem, on the basis that apparently he would be persecuted back in Iraq. So my question to you is, what is going on with these judges? There's another case where somebody has been allowed to stay because if he got deported, he wouldn't be. He cuts his son's hair. Yes, and if he got deported, his son's hair would have to be cut by someone else. It's a long-haired kid. Exactly. What's wrong with that kid? Looks like a yeti. Well, we deported his son, and no one else can cut his hair. Yeah. What is this judge, by the way, who allowed the Iraqi to stay, is called Paul Lewis. Yes. What is going on? Well, it is Britain's broken borders, and it is absolutely bonkers. And again, asylum absurdity. What it does, Kevin, is it highlights the difference between asylum, which very specific rules, and what's Article 3 about torture. And I think this is the important thing. Firstly, as you pointed out, it was in 2016, so this is 9 years later. He arrived illegally on the back of a lorry, fresh out of Only Fools and Horses. You work on that sort of basis. And the reality is, it's taken all of that time. Just to remind people what asylum is the legal protection granted by a country to an individual who has fled their home country due to a well-founded fear of persecution based on race, religion, nationality, political opinion, or membership of a particular social group. That's the test. Does it mention kids not liking foreign chicken? Well, that's the thing, you see. That comes under... No, exactly. So none of that. So asylum, which grants you certain rights, and it's important to make the distinction between that and what is Article 3 is about torture. So they turned around and he sort of said, give me a reason, give me a bit of time, I might come up with a reason because I don't really have one at the moment. what they worked out is actually... There's a judge going, yeah, all right, I'll give you an hour. give you an hour, come up with something. But they worked out, and actually they decided he hasn't got any credible grounds upon which he can get asylum. However, he did have lots of injuries and evidence of torture, which is the thing which is sort of buried in the story. So what it is... Paul Lewis fell for that hook, line and sinker. Well, that's what they said. He said, it's obviously you've been tortured. Rubbish! Well, he was with lots of scars. Doesn't mean he's been tortured. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? They said there's undisputed evidence of past ill treatment by ISIS and others in Iraq, coupled with... I'm disputing it. Well, they go... obviously you could dispute that. Just because you've got injuries, evidence of injuries, it doesn't mean ISIS did it, or Iraq did it. Well, and this is... the other
other crazy thing as well, which you'll love, is he threw his documents away. And what they said...
There's the thing, that's new.
How unusual is that? And so they said it'd be really difficult to redocument him, because by the time he's got there, then he's going to, like, sort of persecution.
Oh, well, in that case, he can stay. Look, what is going on with these judges, though? Why are... You're right, you know, you can talk about the ECHR and the right to a family life and all the other clauses that get these people to stay. And people say, oh, well, if we left the ECHR, it'd be brilliant. We wouldn't be shackled by its rules and regulations anymore. I don't think that... I mean, I'd like us to leave the ECHR, but it's not at the centre of the problem. It's not the ECHR even that is the problem. It is the way these tribunal judges interpret the ECHR, the European Convention on Human Rights. They choose to interpret it in the most lenient way possible. There is no way that any judge will get into any trouble for saying, now you say you got a right to a family life here in Birmingham, but you've just done 5 years in jail for sexually abusing children. So in order to safeguard the children of Britain, I'm sending you back to Somalia. There's no way those judges will get in trouble.
That's the problem. We need to toughen up the rules, and you and I often discuss this.
And do something about these judges.
Absolutely. Well, the judges will say that they will follow the law. But I understand.
But they follow the law in the way that they want to. They're left-wingers, they're Guardian readers, it's clear.
So what we need to make is even clearer, and what I like is what Trump has done on that sort of side. You say, you come here illegally, you're out. We're not going to have none of that. And this is the problem. So Article 3 is always, not a loophole, it's a difference, because that's about torture. You don't get the same rights as asylum, but you don't have to prove the same thing. All you're proving is that it's torture. As soon as that threat of torture goes away, you can go out again. So that's what we need to look at. What we also need to do is tighten things up. It is crazy, absolutely bonkers that it was 2016, 9 years later we're still talking about it.
Right to a family life, that has to be challenged in a big way, because as I say, judges, they are deliberately interpreting the rules of the ECHR, the European Convention on Human Rights, to allow a lot of really bad people to stay here. Something, you know, we can leave the ECHR, but we need to do something about these judges. My solution would be this. We have an American system. Judges are elected by the people, so they get worried about the decisions they make, because our judges can't even be reprimanded, let alone sacked. We need to change that. What do you think, folks? Should we be able to sack our judges for these appalling decisions that they keep making? Because if we could sack them, if they knew that the people could sack them every time they let a paedophile stay, they wouldn't let the paedophile stay. See what I'm saying? What do you reckon? 03444991000. Big thanks to Andrew Ebon, who will be filming my brilliant TV show What Just Happened tomorrow with me. So thank you, Andrew.
Always a pleasure.
See you tomorrow. When we come back, extraordinary scenes in the White House earlier. We'll play you a few. Big confrontation between the President of America and the President of South Africa about alleged genocide of white farmers in South Africa. We're going to talk to a white South African. He happens to be the father of Elon Musk. It's Errol Musk. Him next. Stay tuned.